Hi everyone, this is Anson from AnsonAlex.com and welcome to my 2015 Quick Start tutorial on using Prezi. Prezi is a presentation tool similar to Microsoft PowerPoint, but much different. It's similar in the sense that it is a tool that's used to present information and ideas, but it's different in the way that that information is presented. So we're going to go over all of the features of Prezi in this video like I do in all of my Quick Start videos. But first I want to just show you a final presentation with Prezi because it's so different that I want you to have an idea of what the final product is while we go through and create that final product. So here's a short presentation that I've already put together. We're actually going to try recreating this here in a little bit, but this is what it looks like. So I'm here in Prezi and we're going to go over all of these features again, but I'm going to click present. And now we can go ahead and take a look at this presentation. So you can see in almost every Prezi presentation, it starts by giving you a whole overview of the entire presentation. And then when you go to the first slide or the next slide, it zooms in a particular area. So we can see here's the first slide, so to speak, and this is Prezi, a creative way to present information and ideas. Now we go to the next, what would be a slide, goes to another box. Now this one I have a fade in on the text just to show you what that looks like. So we have a unique presentation. It features a unique presentation style that's fresh and fun. Now we go to the next slide and we zoom to another circle, online editing. You can create, save, and edit Prezi presentations online without having to download an application. On to the next one. It's customizable, so we can use pre-designed Prezi templates or we can build our own presentation from scratch. It has tiered pricing, so I'm using the free plan right now and that's what I'm going to show you in this video, but there is a version of Prezi available for all users, including business users. And finally, how do we use Prezi? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to exit this presentation. I just wanted to give you an idea of what a Prezi presentation looks like. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this window here. And I just have another window open and we're on the Prezi homepage. So to start using Prezi, you need to go to Prezi.com. That's Prezi.com. And to get started, we can just click on Get Started. There's one in the top right and there's one in the middle of the screen. So when we click on that button, it takes us to a screen that shows us the different pricing tiers for Prezi. So we have the public free version. Now, this is kind of a caveat to using Prezi, is there is a free version, but by using that free version, all of the presentations you make will be public, which is definitely going to be a problem for some of you. If you do want to be able to make private presentations, you can go ahead and upgrade to the Enjoy plan, which is $10 a month. The Pro plan will allow you to download a specific application for a Mac or Windows computer, which will allow you to edit presentations when you're offline. And then there is an additional plan that's the Teams plan, which is really for businesses. If you're going to be having multiple users using Prezi, you might want to look at that plan. But we can go ahead and use the public version for now. So I'm just going to click Continue, and I'm going to create a new Prezi account. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out this information. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and click the blue Create Your Free Public Account button. Now once we do that, it takes us right inside of Prezi. And this is an advantage that Prezi has or had over Microsoft PowerPoint, is the ability to create and edit presentations online. You can now do that with PowerPoint. So you didn't used to be able to do that. But with Prezi, you start online, and then again, if you upgrade your plan, there's that option to get an offline program. So here we are on the Prezi homepage, and all of the presentations that we create are going to be listed on this page right here. Now we have a few templates that are on this page. These are designs that we could use for our own presentation. But to get started, I think we just want to go ahead and let's create a new Prezi so we can kind of dive right in and see how it works. So I'm just going to click on the button that says New Prezi. When I do that, notice it opens up in a new tab. And we're brought to a screen where we can go ahead and choose a template. So it has the latest templates in the middle of the screen here for us. It has some of the more popular templates to the right of the screen. And then down here at the bottom, we also have the option to start a blank Prezi, which you're probably going to use once you get comfortable with Prezi. But it is, like I said, very different in the presentation style from PowerPoint and other presentation tools. So I think the easiest way to get started with Prezi is to use one of these templates. To see more templates, we can click on the More button. There's actually a template that I'm going to use, but you can look through these on your own. I'm going to scroll down. Just as you look at these, notice that all of them have the entire presentation pictured, and then you can see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the order in which the presentation is going to go. So the first slide will be 1, then it will go to 2, then it will go to 3, and so forth. So I'm going to use a template that's a little further down here. It's called Explain a Topic Light. So here it is. I'm going to use this Explain a Topic Light. It's the one we already looked at, but we're just going to create a new presentation with this particular template. So I'm just going to click on it, and then I'm going to click Use Template. When I do that, I'm brought to the Prezi editing screen. This is where we can edit our presentation. Now, if you look on the left side of your screen, this is something that is similar to Microsoft PowerPoint, and that is we have all of the particular slides in our presentation listed over here on the left in the order that they appear. So just like in PowerPoint or other presentation programs, if I wanted to change the order of these slides, I could just click on one and drag it to a different spot. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I want to keep it the way it is. But I just wanted to show you that right off the bat because it's something that you should be familiar with if you've used PowerPoint and other presentation tools. Now, to edit one of these particular slides, we just need to click on the slide on the left side of our screen. So to edit the first slide, I'm just going to click on it. You'll notice that it zooms in for me, and now I can go ahead and I can start editing this particular slide. Since we're using a template, we already have text box fields inside of the slide for us. So I can just click in one of these text box fields and then go ahead and change the title. So I'll just call this Prezi. Now I can click in the subtitle box. Notice when I click in a text box, I can use the theme's set default title format, subtitle format, and body format. And I can also alter the text on my own. I can customize it myself, so I can make it smaller or larger. I can change the color of the text. I can make it a bold, italics. I can change the background of the text. We can put bulleted lists in. We can change our alignment, and we can change our margins. So we have a number of different formatting options. But for now, I'll just use the subtitle format, and I'll go ahead and type a creative way to present information and ideas. Now, this is in the subtitle format. I noticed that my title is also in the subtitle format, so I'm just going to click in this text box and click title, and we'll change that to the title format. Now, I can click inside of a text box and select the hand icon to move that text box around. Notice that there's a little dotted line that appears when this is centered with other text inside of the slide. So that's a nice way to make sure that everything is centered and aligned correctly. So I can just drop it when I'm ready. If I want to make this box bigger, I can hit the plus, smaller with the minus. Additionally, if I wanted to create another text box that isn't part of the template, I can just click outside of my current text box and it will create a new text box for me. So that's how we can edit a basic slide here in Prezi, but there are a number of other options available to us, and I'd like to show you a few of them. First of all, up here at the top, you'll notice that there's a drop down that says Insert. And when I click on that, we can insert a number of different things. We can insert images into our presentation, symbols and shapes. We can insert YouTube videos, which is great for us YouTubers, right? We can insert My Content, which is basically Prezi presentations that you've already created that you've favorited. You could go ahead and click on My Content, and it will give you a list of your favorited items, so you could add them into this presentation. That's a pretty advanced feature of using Prezi. We can insert arrows, lines. We can highlight our presentation, so I just choose the highlighter, and I can highlight if I want. If I want to undo something in Prezi, I can always hit this undo button up here at the top left. We can insert background music. We can insert voiceover in our paths. So when I go from slide 1 to slide 2, I could have a voiceover automatically in there so that maybe I don't even have to speak during my presentation. I could just put it on the screen and let it do its thing. So that's another advanced feature, but it's nice to know that that's an option. We can also insert files, whether it's a PDF or a video, and we can insert, guess what, PowerPoint right here into Prezi. I also want you to notice that there is a Customize button up here at the top. And if I click on that, it allows me to customize this theme. So this theme won't change, but I can change the color scheme. So I could change it to this Glacier color scheme by clicking on it. And you'll notice that the colors of my presentation change, even though the actual layout hasn't changed. So that's what the Customize button does up here at the top. Now I'm just going to click to go back to my primary presentation here, which is really my first slide in the presentation, but it just shows me everything, every piece of my presentation. Now another way that we can customize our presentations even with a template is just by going up here to the top left. We can add commonly used objects, so I can add a bracket, a circle, a rectangle, or something that's invisible, which would be its own slide. So let's say I want to add another circle, since there are a lot of circles in this presentation. Let's say, instead of just having 4 details, I have 5. What I can do is I can click on this circle button, and you'll notice, boom, a circle appears in my presentation. I can go ahead and I can drag this down where I'd like it to be. And notice that on the left side of my screen where all of my slides are located, it created a 7th slide for me. So I know that when I run this presentation, this is going to be the last one that's going to be seen before we go to slide 8, which is our final slide, which is when we zoom back out and see the whole path of our presentation. So slides 1, your first slide and your last slide are always going to be the same, because that first slide is the overview and the last slide is zooming back out to see that overview again. So when I inserted this new slide, it went into just before the last one. So now I could go ahead and I could click on this last slide and I could edit this slide. I could add a new text box with a subtitle. Now I can move this around to center it. Then I can add another text box. We'll make this body and we'll say, let's take a look. Now I can move this around. I can center it with my other text box. And I'm probably going to make this a little bit smaller so that it's like the other ones in the presentation. Then I can click on my first slide to zoom back out. And we now have our 7th item in here. I could then go up to Insert, and I could insert an arrow. I could draw an arrow so that it also has an arrow like my other items in the presentation. So this is how you can create a Prezi presentation. I'm not going to go ahead and fill out all of the details in this presentation because I think I've shown you most of the features that you can do when creating a presentation here in Prezi by these first and last slides. When we're ready to view our presentation, we can just click on the Present button up here at the top, and it will go ahead and start for us. So we can see there's our first slide, down to number 2, and so forth, and watch, it'll even go to the very last one that we added. Now, actually, one thing I didn't show you is how to add transitions. So let's say we go to a particular detail. We can go to detail 1. So I'm just going to click on that. Oh, we'll go to, detail 1. There it is. And what we want to do is if we right-click on the slide on the left side of the screen, we'll have a number of different options. So we can add voiceovers to it, but the one that I want to look at is Animate Frame Contents. If I click on that, I now have the option to animate these different text boxes within this frame, or slide as I've been calling it throughout this presentation. So if I want to animate detail, I can just click on it to apply a fade-in effect. You'll notice that that green star is now a little darker, and when I run this animation, I can hit this little play button up here at the top just to preview it. There it is. You can see it fades in, and when I run the entire presentation, we'll see that detail fade in as well. So that's how we can create a presentation here in Prezi. I think it's important to know that Prezi saves automatically as you work in it. So you can see up here at the top it says it's already been saved. So when I'm done, I can just close out this tab. I can say leave this page, and I'm back to my home page. Now I'm going to refresh this page real quick so that my presentation that I just created shows up. So you can see here it is. Here's the presentation that I just created. Now I just want to show you the different options you have here on the home page once you've created a presentation. First of all, over here on the left, we can create folders here in our Prezi account. So I can create a new folder, and I can just call this YouTube Presentations. Click Rename. It's now called YouTube Presentations. I can go back to the All Prezis folder, and now I could click and drag this presentation into the YouTube Presentations folder. So now it still shows on my home screen because this is all of my Prezis, but if I click on this particular folder, it is only going to show the Prezis that are in that folder, which at this case it's the same right now as my home page because I only have one presentation. Now if we mouse over this presentation, if we were to click edit, we would go back into the editing screen and be able to edit this presentation. This little share icon, the icon with the arrow, is how we can share this presentation. So if I click on that, you'll notice that first of all it tells me that this presentation is public because we're using the free version of Prezi. All of our presentations are public. If I was using an upgraded version of Prezi, I could make this hidden or private by adjusting the slider. We can share this presentation with other people by copying this link, and we could email it to them, or we could text message it to them, or share it with them however we'd like, or I can just add people by their email address. So I can add webmaster@ansonalex.com, then I can specify, can this person edit this presentation, which means make changes to it, or can they just view it? And that's up to you, but you can decide whichever you'd like. And then go ahead and click add, and it will share this presentation with that person. They will receive an email letting them know that you've shared it with them. So then you can just close this window. We can delete a presentation by clicking on the trash can, and we can move a presentation to a folder not only by dragging it as I showed you earlier, but we can click on this folders drop down and hit the checkbox next to any of the folders that we'd like to add it to. If you're using Prezi and you'd like to upgrade your account, you can always click on this Go Pro button up here at the top to upgrade your account. So at this point, I've shown you all of the primary features of using Prezi. I hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more technology tips and tutorials. That's all I have for you for today. This is Anson from AnsonAlex.com.